Is Tampa, Florida safe? I'm going to give you my opinion. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into my channel Living in Tampa, where it's my goal to show you everything you need to know about eating, living, sleeping, and playing in the Tampa Bay area. Today's video is going to be all about safety, what parts of Tampa are safe, what parts you might want to avoid. These are all in my opinion. So I do have to disclose, as a real estate agent, I'm not really able to go into whether a certain area is safe or not if I'm representing you in a transaction. So I want to be clear that this video is nothing like that. I'm simply giving you my opinion on places that I feel like I'd be okay with, you know, being there at night, or being there by myself, having my children be there by themselves. I have 4 kids, 2 girls, so I will say that that does vary depending on the child. Like, I'm totally okay with my boys being in certain places, but not so much my girls. So I'm going to give you my opinion on that, but I want to get started with just some areas that I feel are definitely completely safe. And the way I'm going to cover this is, I think I've shared with you guys before, I am a runner. I do like to run, and I run in the very early morning because Tampa's so freaking hot most of the time that if I don't get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning and get my run knocked out, it's going to be miserable for me to run later on in the day most of the year. So I'm usually up when it's still dark, and I go out and I go on runs by myself. And so a lot of this video is going to be based on whether I would feel safe, running in a certain area by myself like I do. And I will tell you that overall, I think Tampa's really safe. I mean, I don't feel threatened in most of the areas that I've been in. And currently, as you can see, I'm downtown right now. I don't know if you can tell, but there's what most people refer to as the beer can building right behind me. And I feel like Tampa has one of the safest downtowns that I've ever been to. Like, I totally feel safe walking around down here. My daughter was in club volleyball for several years. We spent a lot of hours at the convention center. We had a lot of tournaments that lasted late into the night. And afterwards we would walk to our car, and I never ever felt threatened by anything or felt like that was an unsafe thing to do. So I think the downtown area itself of Tampa is much safer than a lot of the other downtowns that I've visited. I know I personally, sorry about that, this is what happens when you're videoing live, I guess. I know that I personally wouldn't feel safe like walking around downtown Atlanta. My dad grew up in Atlanta, and I went to the University of Georgia. I love Georgia and Atlanta. I've spent a lot of time there. But walking around downtown Atlanta by myself, I wouldn't feel so safe as I do here in Tampa. So that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, different people feel safe in different ways and feel threatened in different ways, but I'm not really a person that gets intimidated very easily or feels worried about things like that. I know that some people in my family would never dream of maybe walking around downtown in any city, but I personally have never felt at risk doing that here in Tampa. So other areas that I feel completely safe in the greater Tampa Bay area, Carrollwood. I would totally walk around at any time of day in Carrollwood or night. I've talked about a few of these places in some of my other videos that you might want to check out if you're thinking about moving here. Carrollwood would be a great place to live, and it's a great place, as far as safety is concerned. I've never ever felt threatened there. I'm fine with my girls going there and my boys. Other areas would be Wesley Chapel and New Tampa. Those are very family-centric areas. I would not feel unsafe in either of those areas. The main areas that I think I would have a little bit of trouble with are this changes over time too, right? I want to make sure to point that out, because there's certain areas in Tampa that when we first moved here, I didn't think were as safe. So, going back to the downtown thing. So when we first moved here, which was like 12, almost 13 years ago now, University of Tampa area might have not felt quite as safe as it does now, and I think a lot of the students that used to attend there probably didn't leave the campus very much. But I think that's changed over the years. So now I think most of the students that go to the University of Tampa don't have any problem with leaving and walking around downtown. Now we've got all these scooters everywhere, the electric scooters that you can rent, and you see people at all hours riding around on those, and I don't think there's anyone threatened by that, and that might not have been that way 12 or 13 years ago. So you have to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because areas do change and evolve over time. Another area would be the Riverwalk area. That area has just really been up and coming kind of place. Like, they're doing a lot of construction there. They're putting in a lot of nice, neat new venues. Several years back, that would have not been considered a very good area, but that is changing, and it's becoming much more desirable, every day. So that is an area that I would definitely not feel threatened in as well. Another area that I would not want my girls to be in, sadly, would be anywhere around the University of South Florida. Now, I love the University of South Florida. Both of my boys attend there. Actually, one of my sons just graduated there and is going back to get his his master's degree, and my other son is still there in mechanical engineering. He's got 2 semesters left, and they've lived there, their entire time that they've been in classes, and they've never had any troubles. But they're boys, and I don't know if that's stupid on my part as a mom, but I just don't worry about my boys quite as much as I do about my girls. I'm a lot more protective of my girls, and definitely I wouldn't want either of my 2 teenage girls, even once they're college age, to be living at the University of South Florida. Now, a little further away from there, or maybe just staying on campus, I might be okay with, but I wouldn't want them, roaming around in the areas that surround the University of South Florida. Another area that a lot of people like to go to in the evenings is Ebor. Ebor is kind of our party district here. There's a lot of cigar bars, and there's a lot of just regular bars as well. There's restaurants. It's a fun place to be. The Columbia restaurant is down there, and it's wonderful. But I will say that I wouldn't want to be down there by myself at night. I feel fine going down there with my husband or with a group of friends, and it is a very, very fun place to go. But again, at night, I go back to the jogging thing. Would I go for a run or a jog there at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning? I don't think so. I would feel a little, worried about that. So that is why that is on this list of places that I think you would need to be careful of. So again, the University of Tampa area is now nice. Riverwalk is now nice. But yeah, University of South Florida, the area around there, Ebor, the area around there, and one last area would be, I think, kind of near Ray J Stadium. That is still an area that has really not improved over the years, and is another one of those areas where I probably wouldn't want to go running. Areas that I do run in regularly in the very early morning hours would be South Tampa along Bayshore. I would never ever feel threatened there. I live, north of Tampa, so of course I run there all the time. The Suncoast Parkway has a trail that is over 30 miles. You can run along that trail. Anywhere along that trail, I've never felt threatened at all, and I've run a lot of miles on that trail by myself in the dark. Upper Tampa Bay Trail over by Citrus Park. Citrus Park is another area of Tampa that there's a nice mall there, and there's a lot of nice residential developments there. That trail does they're working a way to connect all of these trails together. It's going to be fantastic when it's all done. But part of the trail does go over there, Upper Tampa Bay Trail, and I run there all the time too. So overall, I would say that Tampa is quite safe. It's a great place to raise your family. I'm so happy that we live here. And as long as you know a couple of these areas that you might want to avoid, and I don't know that I would want to own a home in those areas. But that's just me. If I was a single male, I would probably not have any problem with owning a home anywhere in the greater Tampa Bay area. I think overall, Tampa's super, super safe and a lot safer than a lot of the other cities. So that's my take on is Tampa safe or not. I'm giving it to you from my motherly standpoint, of what I feel I need to do to protect my children and what I feel safe with my children. And I just wanted to share that with anyone who might be thinking about moving to the Tampa Bay area. And by the way, if you're thinking about visiting or moving to the Tampa Bay area, you need to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there, ring that little bell. Do me a favor with that so that I can, get more likes on my videos and help me to grow my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. If you need anything, if you have any questions about Tampa, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can call me, text me, email me, whatever method of communication you prefer. I'm always available. When it comes to moving to Tampa, I've got your back. And hey, if there's anything that you want to comment below that maybe I haven't covered, any areas that you were wondering about in particular, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, and I'll look forward to seeing you on my next video. Thanks for watching.